Hi everyone, we're going to be talking about Shane's journey. Shane is a child who experiences life with fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. So Shane's a 4-year-old boy who is diagnosed by his primary care physician as having fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. He's under the care right now of his aunt and uncle while his mother is incarcerated. The family is hopeful he can be reunited with his mother upon her release. He's eligible for special education services under the category of other health impairments and attends a developmental preschool 4 days a week. Fetal alcohol spectrum disorder, you might have heard it called FASD, is a range of disorders caused by consumption of alcohol by the mother when pregnant. It can negatively affect some or all 5 of the developmental domains of a child. FASD is 100% preventable if a mother abstains from the use of alcohol while pregnant. Preschool-aged individuals impacted by fetal alcohol spectrum disorder may present with social communication, interaction difficulties, hyperactivity, speech and language delays, and deficits in neurological development and maturity. Children with fetal alcohol spectrum disorder may qualify for special services under special education eligibility categories of other health impairments, speech and language delays, or cognitive delays. So I thought this was important to add that this is very recently happened on December 11th, 2015. The Alaska State Board of Education and Early Childhood had a meeting in Anchorage, and the board unanimously approved changes to the special education regulation. So now fetal alcohol spectrum disorder is added to the list of health impairments that may render a student eligible for special education and related services under the category of other health impairments. So Shane's current functioning is his ability to learn is impacted because of deficits in his speech and language, cognitive functioning, adaptive skills, and social emotional development. So Shane's speech and language development is impacted because his verbal language processing speed is much slower than typical developing peers. Shane also exhibits cognitive functioning deficits and has problems following 2 or more step directions, and he also has problems with memory. His adaptive skills are impacted by his inability to follow multiple steps in a task. In the area of social emotional development, Shane is less socially competent and more aggressive in the classroom than his typical developing peers. One of Shane's strengths is in the area of fine and gross motor skills. He loves physical activities, he loves music, movement, and outside play. Shane's preference is for physical movement or activities, and keeping things novel motivates his engagement in activities. The family's concerns and participation. So I plan on using a family-based approach. That's where the family members are active collaborators in the planning and implementation of interventions. So Shane's aunt and uncle feel it's really important to keep his mother informed and involved in his education so that she will be prepared to take over his care once she's released. So one way I can ensure Shane's educational experience respects his family situation is by communicating with his mother while she's incarcerated and keeping her engaged in his education. The family and I agree to meet once a month and discuss Shane's progress and strategies that are working for him at school, and discuss how the family can use those strategies in the home. After the meeting with Shane's aunt and uncle, I will send a summary to Shane's mother. She can write back with any concerns or questions, and I will follow up with her. The resources I plan on offering the family are to provide parent-caregiver training and education, and provide materials to use in the home and show the family how to use them. An example would be I could create visuals and schedules, or provide visual timers the family can use at home. So the family's main concerns with Shane are that he never seems to listen or follow directions, and his deficit in adaptive self-care skills have prevented him from being potty trained. The family states that their priority would be for Shane to be potty trained. So in respecting the family's priorities, we've agreed that Shane will receive individualized instruction in completing the bathroom routine. Interventions, educational activities. Shane's verbal processing is much slower than his peers. So to ensure materials are adapted for him, I'm going to use the principles of universal design for learning to provide multiple means of representation, provide multiple means of action and expression, and provide multiple means of engagement. So Shane's age is 4 years old. The setting where these interventions will be taking place are in the preschool classroom, specifically during circle time and art. And our theme is butterflies, and I will present this information on the butterfly life cycle through multiple means of representation. So my first activity is we will watch a quick 3-minute video on the butterfly life cycle. And the basic accommodation for this is that I'll be using technology to enhance the visual learning by using movies and videos. We're going to read the book, The Very Hungry Caterpillar, and I'm going to be pointing out the picture specifically because Shane does have an auditory processing disorder. And our basic accommodation is I'm going to place all the children in a semicircle during circle time so that everyone has clear sight lines so that the material is visible to all children. Our next activity is after we read a book, we would act out the actions that we read about. So after reading the story, we're going to use role-playing to increase the comprehension of the stories. And acting out is a really fun and engaging way to get a child involved in learning. The modification I'm going to use for Shane is the use of his preferences. Shane prefers activities with movement, so acting out would be a really great activity for him. The other activity we would do is we would use different shapes of pasta, and this is used to represent the butterfly life cycle. So a modification I'll be using with Shane is we're going to simplify the activities into smaller parts. He's going to be using manipulatives to provide tactile learning of material. And since Shane has trouble following multiple step direction, we're going to break this activity down into 4 steps. Our last activity is we will be painting a butterfly, and we're going to be using forks instead of paintbrushes for painting. So the modification is that we're going to use a child's preferences. And since Shane is more engaged when things are novel, instead of painting with the brush, we're going to be using a fork so that he's more engaged in the activity. Environmental supports. So the setting we're going to be using this is at home and at school, and it's going to be built into everyday routines for Shane. So to make Shane more successful at school and at home, so we're going to be using the environmental supports of visuals, visual schedules, first then strips, and visual timers. So I would support the family by creating specific visuals they need at home. For example, like a wake up routine, like wake up, get dressed, brush your teeth, a bathroom routine, since that's the priority for the family, and maybe like a daily home schedule for them as well. So this is an example of what we would use in the preschool. This is a visual schedule for the whole day. Here is another first then strip that breaks down an activity into no more than 2 steps direction. So we could use this, for example, at art. So first you color and then you cut. This is an example of visual timers that we use in the classroom, and I could also send a set of these home with the family. Each color is a different amount of time, and that would help Shane with turn taking. So our intervention is going to be the bathroom routine. And so at home and at school, we need to set up a consistent toileting schedule. And we need to give Shane lots of opportunities to participate in the bathroom routine as independently as possible. So this is the modification that will be set up at school. So in the bathroom, we're going to alter the physical environment to promote participation for Shane. So you can see the diaper drawers are labeled with symbol that the child can identify as being theirs, and Shane just happens to be the shark symbol. So I'm going to put the supplies at a child's reach so they can have access to it. And I'm going to have the child be an active participant in the process by having them gather the diapers, having them take the diapers on, off, etc. So this is our bathroom at school. And the modification is that we're going to be using special equipment to promote independence and learning. So there, if you can see at the bottom, there's a large platform under the toilet that the child can use to step up to access it. There's handbars to grasp while stepping up and down. And another modification that we need to always keep in the back of our mind is what kind of adult support does the child need? So I would provide lots of praise and encouragement during the whole bathroom routine. Here is an example of a first thin strip breaking down the bathroom routine into no more than 2 steps. So we're simplifying the activity. So first it would be pants down, then diaper off. And this is another modification, so we're modifying the material so a child can be independent as possible. We're using visuals to promote independence so a child doesn't become dependent on adult verbal or physical prompts. And we're using visuals, and those visuals should be showing a child exactly what they need to do. So intervention, interacting with peers. Since Shane has some difficulty interacting with peers and can become aggressive, we're going to be using a first thin strip to help him share it with others and take turns. So he's going to need adult support and modeling to teach him turn taking. And we're going to use this visual, first my turn, then your turn, to show him the process. Also, another helpful tool to use would be a visual timer so that Shane knows how much time he has playing with the toy if it's his turn, or how much time he has to wait before it's his turn again. And Shane's probably going to need a lot of adult support to facilitate interacting and playing with other children. So the family's education. So the family stated earlier that Shane never seems to listen. So I thought maybe I should explain to the family about how Shane's auditory processing may impact his ability to follow verbal directions, and provide visuals for the family to use at home, and provide training on how to use those. So for example, Shane may be more successful at home and in his daily routines if they're broken down into no more than 2 steps and they're supported with the visuals. So at home, the family could use this visual that we would use at school, first pants down, then diaper off, to help him be more successful in his routines. And these are my references. Thanks, everyone.